Today, in 99 nights, we will be doing a challenge, trying to make it to day 99 only using the starter axe. Now, I know you are thinking this is impossible, but trust me, bro, it's not. I came up with a plan that should work. In order to survive, first I needed to gather as much wood as possible. I think the hardest part of this challenge is going to be trying to fight a red wolf only using this axe. Walking back and forth, cutting all these trees, and only being able to hold 5 was a headache and also time-consuming. So I went to explore to try and get a better sack and also get food, which would be important for when I encounter a mob. I found a bandage in my first chest, which would also be important for my survival. That way, when in dire need, I could just heal up. I picked up a rod, that way my options for food aren't limited, and I wouldn't have to spend time trying to kill an animal. Nighttime came and I headed back home, and boy was it a good thing I did. It was only the first day and the deer already showed up, but I wasn't going to allow that thing to stop me from progressing. So I used this time to chop down any nearby trees for wood. At the crack of dawn, I went to explore some more in hopes of finding a sack. But there was one more thing I needed to do, and that was to test my strength against a wolf. I was able to kill off one wolf, and that alone took me to half of my health. I couldn't spend much time at my base. That fight with the wolf made me realize if I wanted to survive, I was definitely going to need armor, and fast. Another chest opening, hopefully it gives me what I need. All it gave me was another bandage, but I couldn't complain. Either way, I was given something to help me survive. In the distance, I noticed 2 wolves, but that wasn't going to stop a man on a mission. I walked right in front of him. He didn't bother me, so I didn't bother him. I still had no luck finding a sack, and I still needed wood for my campfire. My campfire was nearing level 4, so I quickly finished that, and by the time that was done, it was nighttime. I didn't want to take any chances, so instead of exploring, I gathered food for the night. Doing this solo was harder than I thought, as I would have to be the hunter, builder, medic, literally everything in one. I almost gathered enough materials to upgrade the workbench so I could start crafting the correct items needed for survival. After a few days of struggling to survive 99 nights, I finally found something useful, but to me it didn't have any value since I could only use an axe for this challenge. It felt like I was being teased. A wise person once said a flashlight a day keeps the deer away. My first encounter with the cultist was nerve-wracking. One was armed with a gun, so I knew the safest thing to do was separate the two, making it easier to kill them both. Before I fought the other cultist, I decided to stop and loot just to be rewarded with armor. I felt invincible, so I wasted no time charging into the next fight. I nearly died trying to fight the one armed with a rifle, so it was a good thing I thought out a plan to help me survive this battle. I ran for my life. The deer made an appearance once again. This was the second time in 3 days he showed up, and I wasn't expecting it. When I was safe, I taunted him, since there was nothing he could do. This makes another night I survived using only an axe. As day 4 came, I was starting to feel impatient. I hadn't gotten any real progress since I was scared of the deer and the mobs. I found another house I hadn't looted, and I kept my fingers crossed in hopes to finally get that sack I was talking about. But before I could do that, the wolf had to die. It was a good amount of revolver ammo that I couldn't even use, on top of them giving me a spear, the perfect weapon to get the job done. Through this dungeon lied one of the kids I was supposed to save, and I'm not going to lie. I was scared shitless. I had to kill 5 of these scary-looking wolves with this puny axe. I lured one so I could kill it on its own. Fighting multiple of these at once was a death wish, and I didn't have the proper resources to win that fight. With just a little under half health, I survived, and I wasn't ready to fight another one head-on. I headed back to my base just in time for nightfall, and of course, the cultists were raiding my base. The deer being here again for the 3rd time didn't even surprise me anymore, but I had a plan to use him to my advantage. Since the cultists were here, I planned to lure them to the deer that way. The deer could do all the dirty work, killing them with ease. I ran into yet another problem. The deer wasn't moving towards us, and I didn't want to risk getting any closer, so I had no choice but to take matter into my own hands. In order to win this battle, I had to separate them, just like I did the last group of cultists. Taking them head-on wasn't the smartest idea. I was able to get a one-on-one. Of course, I was victorious. Before I fought the last one, he was going to have to wait for my health bar to go back up. After a few long nights, I was able to upgrade my bench. I was one step closer to building a bed, which helps increase the days faster. My health bar went back up, so getting rid of the cultist now was my best bet. The days seemed to be going pretty fast, so that meant every second mattered. Tonight, I wasn't going back to the base. With this flashlight, I should be just fine. It was dark. Couldn't see a thing. I also was trying to preserve my battery for when I really needed it. Once I ran into the owl, I wanted to call it quits. Almost every night, if it wasn't the deer, then it was the owl. I questioned what I was even doing here. By the next day, I set off with the goal to rescue the kid by the end of the night, which meant all 4 of these wolves would have to be killed. I flashed the light in his face and it triggered him, so he chased me. Little did he know this was all a part of my plan. Two down, 3 more to go, and this time I didn't get that much health taken off. I didn't have time to wait. It was already day 6, and not a single kid was rescued, so I rushed into battle. Three down, 2 more to go, and since I didn't have a single bandage, I had no choice but to retreat. To pass the time, I went chest hunting. It gave me a single diamond, and it's just my luck that the deer spawned right next to me. I ran for my life. How is it that as soon as night comes, I just so happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time? To make matters worse, I fell right into a trap. The deer hit me once more, and I knew it was game over. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe for part 2 of this series.